Guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how I create my thumbnails, especially for YouTube. Okay, so without further ado, here are some examples of the thumbnails I've created. This is one of them. This is another one. This is another one, and this is the kind of theme and thumbnail template type of idea I have for this channel. Okay, so let's first of all look at the thumbnail, my thumbnails, and kind of analyze what I'm actually doing with thumbnails, and I'm going to show you guys how you guys can also go about creating your own thumbnails. Okay, now the core ingredients I use for when I make thumbnails, of course, I have the text. Okay, I always like to include text, unless some thumbnails don't require any of this template. Sometimes you're not always required to use the template that you kind of create. So you don't always need to use it. So sometimes some thumbnails can just have images depending on what type of video it is. But for the type of videos I create are like tutorial videos, educational videos, and whatnot. Something where it's like I have a purpose or a goal, or there's some sort of direction for where I'm trying to teach people how to do something. Then I'll most likely include some text. Okay, then I'll include an image. So the image is kind of the example to kind of draw you in and say, okay, I see the text and the image kind of relates as well. So okay, I know what this video is going to be about. Okay, and the rest is just kind of how everything is layered. Okay, so if we actually analyze it, how many layers or pieces of information can we see on the screen right now on this thumbnail? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces at work that play together. Okay, and of course I use just simple design and elements here. Okay, so in this one here, this thumbnail was created for a tutorial, a vocal mixing tutorial in a software called FL Studio 20. That's what you can see. This is the logo of the software that I used for this tutorial when I created this video here. And then this is the text itself. I wanted to kind of match the image itself, so that's why you can kind of see that the color of the text itself, D Block Europe, is kind of similar of this blue style here. And of course the white background makes a lot of sense, and of course this brought to you by the Music VI. Okay, that's how I did that there. And this, of course, this is the image, and the image, basically all I did here was created a rectangle shape. Okay, I used this tool. I'll show you how I actually do it, but I created a rectangle shape, and then but then after I just put that there, then I used this image as a clipping mask so that it appears like this, and I added drop shadow to the background. Okay, simple design aspect. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, this one here, similar concept. I use kind of similar concept, and I always like to kind of not use squared off shapes. That's why you can always see the round curved edges and whatnot. So this example as well, put a logo up here, put my Instagram handle here, even though it may not be shown, but it just adds a nice element of design. Okay, big text here, image there, and the background has like a gradient, and you can see that you can kind of read the text clearly. Okay, let's go to another one here. Image again. This time around I put my Instagram handle here, and brought to you by me, of course, the video, and then just simple balance vocals and beats. Okay, and then this one, of course, this one's for this channel, similar concept. I'm using the same concepts all the time. Okay, so now if you wanted to create your own thumbnail, I recommend going to File, New. Okay, then I'll always select a 4K project. For example, 340 by 2160. That's a 4K size, and I put the resolution at 7:2. Okay, alright, so I brought in a logo that I already have access to, and this logo is called the Engineers Club. Okay, if you watched the previous video, I'm going to show you a snippet on the screen right now on how the color theme for this logo actually looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring in a shape layer. So I'm going to go to press new layer here at the bottom here. I've already created one, so I can just delete that one. And then I'm going to go to where it says this rectangle, this shape here, rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw a huge box around the page or the the document. Okay, I'm going to take off the stroke and just put in the fill color to the main color of the brand itself. Okay, and it was 1B, 1B, 1B. Okay, then I'm going to bring that shape layer to the bottom, and now you can see this logo here. And actually, I'm going to lock it as well, and then rename it as BG, which stands for background. Okay, then I'm going to bring the logo that I brought in. I'm going to make it kind of big like this for now. In fact, I can just right click and rasterize layer, so that way it's just kind of constrained to the limits of the actual logo itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to bring in some text. Okay, so I'm going to press this text layer here. You may not be able to see the background, so I'm actually going to change the color of the background quickly to a brighter gray. Okay, alright, I'm going to actually even change it, not white, because it won't work with the logo itself. So let's bring it into like this type of gray. Okay, just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to lock it as well. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is bring in some text. Okay, and the text, let's say this is a tutorial video, and we taught how to, for example, the name of the video is how to be an engineer. how to become an engineer. And then what I'm going to do is shift everything, make it justified or left align text. Okay, so I'm going to make it more something like that. Okay, the font I'm using is Poppins. I like this font because it's nice and clear. And then what I could do actually is just press Ctrl T and reduce the size of the font itself, and then bring it to the left. Okay, like that. And then you can decide where you want things to be aligned. For example, if you want the logo to be here, and then the main thing you want to do is make sure that it aligns. Okay, everything is kind of aligned to everything, if that makes sense. Okay, so you can do how to become an engineer, or I can even just reduce that as well by reducing the size of it, and then making sure it's centered as well. And then the next text I'm actually going to bring in is I'm going to press the text tool again, and then just tap here, and then for example, brought to you by. It's just some information that I like to add. Okay, brought to you by Cole, by me. I want to change the type of font itself. I'm going to change it to a medium font. Control T, reduce the size of that now, and we're going to add that here. You can actually add anything here. It doesn't have to necessarily be brought to you by. It can literally be any type of thing. Okay, now we can start to see that it's starting to come along a bit more. Next thing I'm going to add is an image. Okay, now I'm going to find an image on Google about how to become an audio engineer, or how to become an engineer, or whatever it is that your topic is. Okay, so let's go to Google and let's find something. All right, so I'm going to drag this into our project just like this, and then I'm going to make it like this. Okay, because I want to kind of have it similar to this one here. Okay, so in order to create this shape layer here, we need to go to the, let's hide this for now, go to the project itself, or press new layer, and then press the square button, and then kind of draw like a rectangle. Okay, and then what you want to change, you want to take off the stroke, and then you can fill it in anything. I'll fill it in white. Okay, just so you can see it. And then what I'm going to do now is, if you scroll down this area, the properties area, you can see these buttons here. I want to select it and just drag out or in, and after you can see it kind of gives you like a curved look. Okay, and then you can unselect it. Then I'm going to press Ctrl T and make the whole shape layer bigger. I'm going to even just do something like this. Okay, and then press enter, and then now we've got something like this, something simple. Okay, I do think this text itself is too much to the right. I want to kind of make it more to the left, so I'm going to double click it, and how to become an audio engineer. Let's try that. You need to kind of experiment, because I think this is actually a lot of text, just 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of text. I don't really like 4 lines of text. But let's see what we can do. How to become an audio engineer. Okay, we'll keep it like that for now, and I'll just make it smaller. Okay, we can do that, but ideally the less text the better. That's the policy I always kind of employ. Okay, so now we've got that there. Now let's bring in our image itself, and the image is here. And then what I'm going to do is bring the image above the rectangle itself, and then press Alt, and then you can see this kind of, once you hold down Alt, you can see this button comes up. Click it, and then click on the thumbnail itself, press Ctrl T to make the image bigger, and then just kind of extend it until it fills the whole shape like that. Okay, this image is not really a good example of a good image. Alright, so I found a better image, and I think this image actually works a bit much better. So ideally, of course, you want to be taking your own images, as I've said. I'm going to delete the other one and just do this process again. And then by clicking the image itself, pressing Alt and just hovering over the thing, and then just like that, we've done it. And then I'm going to bring it to the left, just like that. And then I'm actually going to bring everything more to the left. So if we press Control colon, I want to see what's the center. So I'm going to bring this ruler over here. Press Control R if you can't see the ruler itself. I think that's the center here. So I'm going to try and make it aligned by just bringing everything just like that. So now we know that this line here is exactly the center. Okay. And what we could also do, remember we said we can also have something along the lines of this here. We can play the color of the text itself. So this is audio engineer. I'm going to select that and then highlight all of that, press the color of the text, and then hover over this text here, and then just do something like that. Okay. In fact, what I'm actually also going to do, I'm going to bring audio engineer, and then do something how to become an audio engineer. So I'm going to highlight engineer itself and make the text of that bigger. Okay, then I'm going to bring engineer at the bottom, and then I'm going to bring this how to become an audio engineer. I'm going to make that smaller, just something like this. Okay, then press OK, then select the font, it's the text itself, bring it center, and then make it just bigger, really and truly. it smaller actually. I'm actually gonna change it to become an audio engineer. Okay, something like that. Okay, I don't really like the background. I'm gonna change the background color again. Once again, I'm gonna unlock it and then select the thing itself, and then I can literally change it to something darker like this. Okay, or something brighter, or whatever works. Okay, but you kind of get the gist and you kind of get the methods or how I actually kind of went about doing this, and you kind of change the font itself. Well, no, I'm gonna make it. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Okay, let's just leave it a darker, like a dark color like this. Okay, how to become an engineer. I'm gonna bring it smaller down here. Oh, in fact, I didn't really like the way this looking, so I'm just gonna take that off and just say audio engineer. Okay, like that. Okay, then the image itself, the rectangle itself, I'm gonna right click that, press blending options, and then I'm also gonna create something called a stroke around the image itself. So you can see this comes up and this appears. I'm gonna increase the stroke size like that, and then I'm gonna bring in a drop shadow as well. So press drop shadow, and we won't be able to see it because of the dark background, but a drop shadow is basically allowing shadow, or this is how it look like. Okay, and then that's essentially it. So that's how I usually create my thumbnails. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.